On a global scale, Britain is a pretty small island. Yet, it is one of the planet's very biggest defence powers, and it has just jumped up the rankings for defence spending. In 2019, the UK was classed as the sixth biggest military spender in the respected Military Balance study. But a spending boost last year has taken it past Russia, which made a small cut, and Saudi Arabia, which has drastically dropped its spending. That leaves Britain in fourth place.
It's significant in a number of ways. It clearly strengthens Britain's position, its military credibility, with NATO, with the US.
It is a direct result of Boris Johnson's pledge last November to add £4 billion a year to the UK's defence budget.
The era of cutting our defence budget must end, and it ends now.
It is big money, but a big chunk of it is likely to cover a black hole in the existing plans for buying defence equipment, and we are still waiting for the government's integrated review to tell us what the rest of the money might add.
There is always a lag time between deciding to spend money and the production lines starting to roll and the delivery of the kit to the front line.
Does this mean we've become a bigger military power in the world?
Not much. It doesn't envisage any new squadrons for the Royal Air Force, except perhaps in time some more drone squadrons. It actually takes the fleet to the size it was always planned to be. And Boris Johnson is correct when he says it will be the biggest navy in Europe, but it doesn't make it substantively bigger. And it doesn't increase the size of the army in terms of the number of deployable ground or air manoeuvre brigades.
And despite the extra billions, there is a steady stream of reports suggesting conventional forces may be cut in the review to pay for new military technologies. Numbers of soldiers and tanks are particularly under scrutiny, although the MOD says all these reports are merely speculation.
I have heard that the Royal Navy is going to reduce its manpower by a proportion, both the Navy and the Royal Marines. It's also quite clear that the Prime Minister said the manpower strength of the army is to reduce, but contradicting himself in the same paragraph, he also said that there was no threat to the Black Watch.
Globally, the US still leaves every other country far behind. It's responsible for 40% of the entire world's defence spending. But in second place, China is increasingly shifting the world's military balance. Its big investment in its military is driving others to spend more on defence in Asia. A decade ago, the region accounted for less than a fifth of the world's defence spending. Now it's a quarter. Notably, by number of ships, China now has the world's biggest navy.
And in terms of overall maritime capacity, Beijing also possesses the largest coast guard and a significant maritime militia. But the big advantage the Chinese Navy holds over the US Navy is in patrol and coastal combatants, or corvettes and below. The US Navy still holds a sizable advantage in principal surface combatants of frigate size and above, and large amphibious ships, for example. So as a result, in terms of another traditional naval indicator of scale, overall tonnage, the US fleet still stands at more than double the tonnage of China. So on that criteria, much larger still.
European NATO allies have also been increasing their defence spending, and it means Europe could soon overtake Asia for military growth. But defence spending tends to be planned long ahead, so the economic crash from the COVID pandemic could still hit militaries around the world in 2 or 3 years' time.
Armed forces have to be aware of the financial reckoning that's coming. That means they'll have to develop better arguments for their military equipment programmes.
The UK's armed forces have been promised a budget plan to take them up to 2025, but the reckoning may come then because the cost of coronavirus could well take beyond that to pay off. Britain's status as the world's fourth largest defence spender and the military credibility it brings are not guaranteed to last. James Hurst, Forces News.